My name is Mariana Danilovich. I'm the founder of Infiom. Hi, Shinui. And the person who developed this idea with us is Shinui Yang from Binance, from the BNB chain. Why don't you give us a little introduction, and then I'll talk a little bit about our background, and then we can go into everyone else's background. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. And also thank you for making the time efforts to be here. I'm Shania, or feel free to call me Vicky, VICNY. I'm currently working for Binance, more specifically working for Binance Smart Chain, which is now referred to as BNB Chain. Essentially, BNB Chain is a separated business unit despite from Binance.com, which is, a centralized crypto exchange, where BNB chain is a layer one public chain where we mostly concentrating on, providing great infrastructures for blockchain industries and for the apps applications to build on us. We're layer one at the moment. We're also issuing at this moment, just when we're speaking, there's a third chain coming along the way, which is now referred as Greenfield. Essentially, it's a decentralized cloud and storage chain, where we're seeing great opportunities to adopt massive Web2 users to Web3. And that's how we see, Web3's industry is facing to a great futures, and we're ready to embrace it. And so from there, since we have seen the trends of more entrepreneurs coming along the way, joining, building their projects in BNB chain, and also in the other public chains in the Web3 industry, we would like to see, how can we help them better? Maybe potentially, by the efforts of BNB Chain's Entrepreneur Club, to build up a platform, a bridge that we can connect with the, different VCs, great incubators like Infiom, and a great ecosystem like BNB Chain, and then package it and, just hand it to the great Web3 industry professions and entrepreneurs who make the efforts to develop their great innovative ideas here, and see, how can we break that barrier between the project founders with, fundraising partners or stakeholders with. So we're issuing this Founders Academy just to help the entrepreneurs to better understand the ecosystem, not just for BNB Chain's perspective, but also in general, like how does Web3 industries form the business itself, and how can we help, from the first step moving forward. So really glad to be here, and thank you, Mary, for the great efforts of hosting this.
Thank you so much, Shinui. So it was really BNB Chain's desire to grow the ecosystem and the community that propelled these efforts. And, the first criteria as we were selecting, we received a lot of applications. Infiom was running its own application process for most of last year for the Infiom Boost program, where we accelerate ventures ourselves, and for the Academy. And we received quite a few applications there. And then BNB Chain supported us through some Twitter support and social media support earlier this year. And so we received a whole, bunch of other applications. And from those, we were looking for companies with very specific goals in mind. The number one goal was really growing the adoption of the BNB chain and, other ecosystem chains. But growing the adoption needs a lot of user uptake, ability to, scale this project, solving a real life problem, all the important things in building a business. I've been in innovation most of my career. So everything that one would look at in due diligence on a traditional venture deal, plus the ability to become a unicorn. So that's kind of how we selected the teams and the companies here today. These are not startups. All of you have been in this business probably since 2013 to 2016, you entered some of those years. So very early on, you have lived through the up cycles and down cycles, upturns and downturns in this economy. And we selected you for that purpose. We didn't select you to, hope and promise that this will actually grow. But we believe that if we put our resources, the BNB Chain's resources, our collective resources that we built, over the 3 years of having Infiom accelerating ventures in the space, that we can actually help you get to that next level. So that was the selection criteria. Just a little bit about Infiom. My name is Mariana Danilovic. I'm the founder of the company. I've been in some form of innovation space since the beginning of my career. I started on the venture capital management team of Sony Pictures Entertainment, where we invested a venture capital into global opportunities. We also had a corporate finance group there that where we evaluated larger scale M&A opportunities for Sony. From there, I went on to KPMG, to their strategy group that was focused on information, communications, and entertainment. And this was luckily during Web 1.0, which maybe some of you don't remember, but I still do. And we launched the very first accelerator at the corporate level for Web 1.0 companies. And this was literally maybe weeks or a couple of months after Ideal Lab launched, down the street here in Pasadena. We had a lot of successful raises. About 24 companies went through the incubator, raised money from top-tier VCs, Kleiner, Sequoia, Hammer, Wimblad, HP, Intel. We worked with top-tier entertainers. We had about 6 billionaires who started companies in the internet space at that time. So we sort of started, in a really big way. After that incubator, I would say I ended up being in the blockchain space because some of the CEOs from that incubator became the whales in the crypto space very early on. They were early entrants in the 2012, 2013 timeframe, and some of them will come and talk to us here because I ended up running Bid Angels globally, which was the angel investor group that invested in the launch of Ethereum. So we have access to a lot of people from that group. And then Infiom was really envisioned more as a tool to get the rest of the world onboarded into crypto. And therefore, this partnership with BNB makes perfect sense. We work with other large companies like Zenlayer, Kudelski, Swisscom, etc., helping them sort of go from Web 2 to Web 3. So we bring that to the table. And we have worked with VCs all along, in a variety of iterations, as well as crowdfunding opportunities. So we have a lot of background in sort of figuring out best ways to fundraise in different environments. For the metaverse and NFT projects that we selected, I started out at Sony Pictures. I was with 20th Century Fox, and the 2,000 companies that launched out of the KPMG incubator were all in digital media. So we have a lot of access to media companies and other digital media companies that would be relevant for metaverse building, NFTs, etc. So that's our background. We're very excited to have everyone on board. We're going to stop talking about ourselves now and see what you guys, think about what you want to get out of the academy, and maybe tell us a little bit about your background and what you're building. So Lisa, this you were the first person that responded to everything. Why don't you start us off today, telling us a little bit about your project?
Cool. Thank you. My name is Lisa Loud, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fluidify. My background is in big tech in Silicon Valley, PayPal and Apple. And I entered the blockchain space in 2015, started trading Bitcoin and stuff. And then I've been the CMO of BitMEX and COO of Shapeshift. And a couple of years ago, my co-founder and I started this company to bring infrastructure to the DeFi space because we felt that blockchain had not quite achieved the mass adoption that we wanted to see. And DeFi really had a chance at turning that narrative around, but not with the current state of tools. So we started building tools. Really, at the beginning, it was for me to use in my own trading. And over the past 2.5 years, we've developed the infrastructure that we have so that it can be used for auditing, for financial reporting, for trading. There's a bunch of hedge funds that want to start funds using our algorithms. So really, we're infrastructure for the DeFi space, and we are building on BNB chain because we believe that that's where, you've got the TVL on BNB, and you also have the lower fees. So if we can make this successful, BNB chain is the right place to do it because we have the combination of popularity and
feasibility. It's hard to make money when you're paying everything in fees. So I'm really thrilled to be part of this. My goals for the program are really to understand what the goals of the BNB chain are, and to build to that. And we definitely want to be a unicorn, and we're heading that direction. So looking forward to having some conversations about how to tailor our solution.
Yeah, and I think having some of the participants from the BNB chain that I've already been exposed to, and obviously Shinui has been exposed to so many more, I think we can help a company like this provide infrastructure to one of the largest infrastructures in the space. But also, I think we can possibly help with some business development with some of your partners. Who are some of the companies that you think would adopt your infrastructure for DeFi play first?
Yes. Just to respond to that, Mariana, Ernst & Young, KPMG, I heard you say you have background there. KPMG and Deloitte are all looking at our solution for auditing their clients' accounts in liquidity pools.
So it would be large, big four companies, but also would you be doing any sort of, so it would be tax audit and trading tools, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And so an exchange could use, all the exchanges would probably be able to use this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. And even the protocols. We have better data than Uniswap, for example, better data than PancakeSwap too. We've been really wanting to start a conversation because we think we could provide data, just like the graph provides data to Uniswap. We could provide this better data to PancakeSwap to improve that product. So we've been eager to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's so interesting how the space developed. Unlike any other space, there's so many automated tools. And so like you think, oh, automated market making, that's the end all be all. But then there's just so much underlying infrastructure and data that can support that AMM function that no one really thinks about when they're launching the function. So that's always
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, welcome, Lisa. We love what you're doing. You're exactly the company that we were looking for, and we can't wait to have your input into this. This 12-week process is not going to be like a traditional, we teach things and you guys will learn things. It's going to be an interactive sort of ecosystem development experience where all of us will contribute to the whole, if that makes any sense.
Amazing. I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, welcome. So Thibault, you were the second person that joined the Academy. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're building?
Yes, so hello everyone, I'm Thibault, I'm 23 from France. I'm 23 years old from France. I just graduated last year actually in blockchain engineering and fintech. And before that, I launched another entrepreneurial project because I did some content about crypto, especially on YouTube, French YouTube, for instance. And on the web. And as my channel grew, I wanted to interact more with my community, and I also wanted to raise funds from my community to collect donation from them. And I thought crowdfunding was a good idea to launch new projects, etc. And I found that a lot of crowdfunding platform actually refused to let me create a crowdfunding platform because I was just talking about crypto. I wasn't even, I didn't want people to give me crypto at that moment. I just wanted to create a campaign on the website in dollars or euros, but they won't let me do it because I was talking only about crypto. And some of them told me it was because their payment provider, they thought they used third-party payment provider and they just didn't want to do something with someone that was talking about crypto. And I found that it was a big problem about how the crowdfunding market is held by some few actors, like Kickstarter, for instance, or for content creator. There are other things, especially in France, like TP, and they charge huge fees. They charge fees as well for because of intermediaries, because they had they use third-party payment provider, and also they have all the rights on your campaign. They can close your campaign, they can decide if the subject is good or not for them. And with that idea in mind, we created with two other engineers, blockchain engineers that I met in class, Blockboosted. So Blockboosted is a Web3 crowdfunding platform, and basically it uses the blockchain technology to reduce the intermediaries, reduce the fees, and center about the users. So we also have a reward program. So each week we would love to bring rewards to the people who donate and would use the protocol. And at the moment, the platform is live for about 2 months on BNB chain. And yeah, my goal for this program is to see how we can grow as a small company. We haven't raised any fund yet, neither. So yeah, we think we're good on the tech side because we're all engineers, of course. But we also need to know how we can grow to on the other side, especially like marketing, getting traffic, etc., and all the life of a young startup.
So we love what you're doing because the crowdfunding has not been done well in Web3. You know, it's actually, I spent a bunch of time in crowdfunding before getting over to the blockchain side. And crowdfunding, because it's regulated here in the US by the SEC, et cetera, the platforms were very well developed. They were very buttoned up, and they had, they had to comply with a bunch of regulation. On the crypto side, it's like a raise here, a raise there, a raise everywhere. You know, what Lisa's trying to organize in some sense and make it more institutionalized and equal in kind of level playing field, if you like. That's what you're building here, because building a crowdfunding platform for Web3 is extremely important. And I think you would really move the adoption of the BNB chain quickly if the process is done even, in a more kind of organized way. So I'm really fascinated to see where this project will go. We're happy to help you and give you all the, background information that we already have on crowdfunding and see if that can be actually launched. Would it be domiciled in France, or did you select another jurisdiction for this?
No.
Okay, that's going to be interesting too. Knowing what we know about France, we launched a company called EarnTV in France. It's a very structured environment, so it's going to be interesting to see how a Web3 crowdfunding platform can develop within that jurisdiction. So welcome, Thibaut, and we look forward to working with you. Pavel, another veteran, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your project.
Hey, sure. First of all, thank you everyone for the opportunity. Sorry for no webcam. I joined Rush from the PC. Next time I will be over the phone or by webcam in 2023, hopefully. Quick background about myself. Yeah, also in the space since the beginning, I guess. My background is more in, I would say, product and user experience and building apps for consumers. So more B2C. We started, Pavel is my name from Romania. Sorry about that part. I started as a founder and CEO of Quende, a gamified social network, which was actually the first ever social network from Europe that had a wallet integration into it in 2016 or 17. With that, we raised 18,000 Ether at that point, and we kind of innovated the space from a user experience. But I'm here more to represent Trender, which is a shoppertainment app. So still for consumers, because that's what I love to do, to build product for consumers that have a high chance to get to mass adoption. And we are tackling the social fi space within the BNB chain. And I'm very, very, very interested and everything that is regarding to collaboration, because I'm a huge fan of making things happen when we join forces with people or like-minded people. More about Trender, we basically aim to change the way people envision a shopping experience, and this we are starting this from the foot traffic in malls, but the ultimate objective is to transition all of the foot traffic in all of the malls in the Web3 and in a potential, let's say, global mall within the metaverse. And this is how we tackle the problem. We are very connected to mall change and luxury brands, and very close. We are aiming to close our first round of investment, but we are all about BNB change after experiencing with, I would say, at least 5 different other chains in other projects. Here is where we felt like, especially the community and the developers community, is something that is amazing, right? So people just want to help, people just want to build. Is not, let's say, egotistic, if I may, like is in other environments. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to seek opportunities in, again, collaboration, but also understanding better how can Trender position itself the best. So when we, let's say, think about, given the fact that we want to offer any shopper a wallet, so that's our go-to-market strategy. If you think of the Web3 space, how is the best way to actually do that, to feel smooth and, I don't know, to feel like a game for any shopper? This is our goal, short-term goal regarding Web3 onboarding. And afterwards, we see the transition from Web2 to Web3 a bit smoother, given the gamified environment that we want to do in our solution. So thank you. And by the way, Mariana, I think also Gary, which is my co-founder in Trender, wants to join, but I don't know if it has access. Nice meeting everyone. Thank you.
I think if you just send him the invite link, he can join, Paolo, for sure. Yeah, just send him the invite link for your call. So Trend is very interesting because I've been aware of all of Paolo's projects for several years now. And I would say the social media build out that he did and, launched the token and went through the whole process of basically launching that company successfully was, a fascinating experience. But with the Trender, they're actually taking that experience and they're connecting it to physical world. And when you start thinking about the metaverse applications, even though they're not a metaverse play, they're solving a major problem for an XR sort of environment application. So I feel that their connection to the real world, just like Lisa's connection to the real world, and then, Thibaut's connection to funding, Web2 would grow the ecosystem. So that was another consideration in picking out Trender, which we're very excited that they're here. Jim Matthews, are you on a call? Are you on your cell today? Maybe not. Okay. We also have Marcus. You want to introduce your company?
I'm actually here with Lisa on behalf of.
Are you with Lisa? I'm trying to find out who's the Zoom caller.
Yeah, sorry. Marcus is part of my team. I didn't introduce him.
Hi, Marcus. Good to meet you. Okay. Well, let me introduce my team until I'm not sure what happened to some of our other presenters. It was a bit of a short notice as we launched. We were determined to launch today, and it's a Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. So we have Nikola Vidic, who is one of our producers, and he actually developed a lot of the production value in all of our videos. If you go to our website, Nikola, you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Nikola Vidic. I'm a BD advisor and production assistant here at Infiom. I've been working in the Web3 space only for a few years now. Mostly on the BD side, community management, partnership development, that kind of stuff. Just excited to be here and part of all the new technology and wave of innovation. I'm a musician by hobby, and that was really one of my inspirations for loving the space. And when I found out all the other applications, I'm like, this is the place to be. So just happy to be here, excited, look forward to hearing more about all of your companies.
Yeah, Nico is very humble. He's produced for Warner Music and Universal Music, and sold his production content to a variety of top tier music companies on the planet. But he's been with us for since the beginning for about 3 years now, and is a very valued member of the team. And then Kristen has been with me basically day one. So go ahead, Kristen. She's also on our events team.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. This day has finally arrived, and this is such a celebration for all of us with the Academy. I'm Kristen Pickler. I entered the space, 2017. I became a crypto real estate agent and met Mariana at a BitAngels event. And ever since then, I've just been so passionate about learning about companies. And my love is connecting the companies, creating rapport for successful women for everyone. And I'm just excited to see, in 12 weeks, it's going to be a quantum leap for all of us. So congratulations.
Thanks, Kristen. And then Jim Matthews is with Near 8. Hi, Jim. Okay, we'll wait till Jim comes back online. So let us give you just a lay of the land on what the project or what the Academy is going to be like. So we have at least half a dozen more ventures that have not presented here today that could not be here due to schedules. Some of them are in East Asia, and that is a really challenging time schedule for them right now, but they will be joining us for the other sessions. We usually, for each of the 12 weeks, we have 4 hours of programming on Zoom. And I know nobody wants to be on Zoom, so I totally understand that many of you don't want to talk and or be seen today fully, like Shinui and I are. And then 3 hours are in the Clubhouse and Twitter spaces. The lectures are envisioned to talk about things that are relevant right now and not in the form of this is the basic information about Web3, because none of you need that. But really, what's happening that is a successful business development opportunity right now, what's happening from the regulatory perspective, what's happening from the fundraising perspective. BNB Chain puts out research reports very often. I think Shina is working on one over the weekend. So there's new research and new information that we're getting from a variety of sources. Like, McKinsey put out the Metaverse report, but there were several other Metaverse reports from, that are relevant. We will discuss all of those with respect to what's happening in the market. We put out a newsletter every week with top tier news. I added you to the distribution list, or you can, select it on our website. To be on it, you can add people that should read the newsletter. We take those news and then we discuss the news both in the sessions and in the chat group sessions. We have invited quite a few speakers. We invited plenty of speakers from the BNB chain, but we also invited many speakers from the Infiom presenters. We had virtual Infiom salons now for 3 years and have seen hundreds of presenters, and we invited people that we feel could best help the companies that you met today and the handful of other companies that we enrolled in the Academy for the duration. So the sessions on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. on Wednesday, and 9 a.m. on Thursday, these are actually with guest speakers, and they're instructional in nature. So there would be less interaction with the Academy participants than in the chat sections. However, you're always welcome to jump in, ask us a question in the chat section on Zoom, or just kind of raise your hand and, join in the conversation. These would be mostly investors that we invited, as well as people from the BNB chain. Okay, you have two different links for tomorrow's session. The link for tomorrow's session is, let me just look at my calendar. The 10 a.m. session is, the 10 a.m. session is on Zoom, and then 11 a.m. session is the chat session. Does that make sense? You can speak if you want.
Yeah, I think it's a difference between what you sent in the email and what you sent in the calendar invite.
Okay.
Because at 10 a.m. I have, in the email, there was something called Founder Salon with the link.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a
Should I go
question. Yeah, it's a very important question, actually. There are two different things that are happening on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday. So tomorrow we have a lecture, and next Wednesday we have a salon. How are they different? A lecture is more about a specific topic in the Web3 space. The salon is actually 4 companies presenting that are successful in the space. So we bring people that have raised funding, they have major updates, either CEOs of fast-growing ventures in the space, investors or heads of innovation of Fortune 500, to the salon. To the lecture, we invite guest speakers, but we're sort of managing the lecture like we do today. So it's more of a learning experience. The other one is just seeing really great presentations and potential business partners. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. That's nice.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just confirming. And afterwards, we are jumping on Spaces, right?
Yes. After we, so basically, the lecture is a little bit more instructive in nature, less kind of all hands-on kind of today. So people will be presenting. We invited Rish Lotlikar to speak on Thursday morning about metaverse. So he has a lot to say. So he's probably going to take up a lot of the time in that 1 hour. I may have some Q&A for him. You guys may have some Q&A, but then there's more opportunity to talk to him once he is, basically in the chat session in the Twitter Spaces, and that's more interactive. We have some other moderators in addition to Kristen and Nicola, we have moderators in the Twitter Spaces and moderators in the Clubhouse that would take questions. You guys will be speakers in the Clubhouse automatically, and we can have up to 3 speakers at a time in the Twitter Spaces. So you have a lot more interactivity in the chat audio app than we have on Zoom. That's the idea behind it. That's what we've been doing for 3 years. If it doesn't work well for the format, we're open to, changes. So that's kind of the idea why we have the chat in the audio app and why we have sort of lectures on Zoom. Okay, so Jim has connection issues, so he's happy to be.
Mariana?
Yeah, so he's there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You're driving.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm really sorry. I'm in transit today, and I've been trying to dial in, and my car has been interacting with the Zoom, and it's been disabling like the video and the audio, even though I'm not driving. But anyway, well, thank you very much for inviting me to this. And I've known Mariana for at least probably a year and a half, mainly, originally through her Clubhouse sessions, and then also met in person at a conference out in LA, and then a consensus last year, and I've sort of, really been interested in, all the projects that she works on. My project is called Near8, and it's a Web3 mobile game and virtual story world. So we're trying to blend together sort of entertainment, but also user-generated moments that we, you can mint on the blockchain that become part of this sort of virtual gaming world, which, is similar to other metaverses, except it's more, abstract is the way we sort of, try to position it, that It's not, like Second Life or Decentraland or anything where you have to go in there and devote, time to actually, dedicate yourself to exploring it. It's meant to be sort of individual short form hooks into moments that are sort of rendered or generated, on our platform that are meant to be sort of bite-sized, short form content, basically. So, we build currently on Polygon and in Unity, but, are really interested in learning more about BNB chain and the opportunities there too, because we have about, 3 prongs to our blockchain integration, and we're basically done with one, which is more, similar to virtual land, except that it's moments, which is a time and a place. And then, next we have some other initiatives that we're looking to explore with, interoperability with other NFTs that are out there, and lots of potential there. So anyway, I'm excited to hear about everyone else's projects, and, so far everything sounds, really interesting, and looking forward to being involved.
Thanks, Jim. And yeah, thanks for trying to plug in. I've done that many times, driving to a meeting or a conference where I just couldn't get in. Can you talk a little bit more about the background of your team? Because I think it's very interesting for some other projects in terms of, just the breadth and depth of the entertainment background there.
Yeah. And, it originally started, pre, blockchain integration. It was more of an immersive entertainment project where, we had I had a co-founder that's still involved with the project, but was actually also at Sony years ago, and on the venture capital side and the technology and innovation side. But it's sort of trying to get at, how do you connect people moment to moment, with our moments, but also, sort of short form content that really can be digestible in this sort of media world. And, I hate using the example, but, Quibi tried to do that a few years ago, and other sort of, media projects have tried to do interactive short form entertainment. And, in many examples of those, it's for the people who build it, and it's for, the people who fund it, and it's not for the people out there, and it just doesn't really connect with audiences. So I think it's sort of an exciting, world where people are still, trying to do what TikTok did so easily. And, it was like, Musical.ly first, and then it was TikTok. And on the blockchain side, that's the constant challenge, is that, just, connecting wallets and logging in and interfaces, it's the same old problems that apps had. And, we're trying to, really test, every single, interface point where someone can actually get into our project quickly, share it, and, either be a Web2 user that's viewing it, or a Web3 user that's minting something for a nominal price. That, that's sort of the holy grail to, like, obviously get people engaged, but also have it be accessible so that your other friends and family can experience it too, without having to, go through all the hoops that you went through.
That's awesome. It's going to be a very interesting discussion. So Alex is not able to speak today. Do we have anyone else who would want to talk about their venture? All right. So we have several companies that literally Shira and I spoke to yesterday that wanted to join this morning, but we sort of ran out of time to enroll them. Some of us had to be with a handoff, between Infiom and BNB. With some of you, I've spoken about this program for several months now, but we had a lot of marketing support on the BNB side, within the last 6 weeks. So we're delighted to have it, and we want to continue down that path and, enroll the rest of the people that have, that are basically have told us they would enroll in the academy. And so because of that, we're going to postpone the 2 lectures that we have tomorrow, the Wednesday, and the Thursday, which is now going to the metaverse with Rich is going to happen the following Thursday. We're going to postpone those 2 lectures so that the new people do not miss, a whole week of lectures. And we will still hold the Founders Roundtable this Friday. So we have a bit of a welcome week set up where this is like a week 0, and we'll still have 12 weeks of programming. So I apologize that there was a bit of a mix-up in communication on that from my side. But let's definitely plan on that welcome week. We won't have a lecture tomorrow. We won't have one Thursday. We will start the following week. We will be here on Friday at noon to talk to some founders in our network. We invite all of you to come back to that. And we will be holding the Twitter Spaces today, Twitter Spaces tomorrow, and Clubhouse as we do usually. And with that, I think we will have in our Friday session, hopefully more companies that we can introduce to the program and kind of start the discussion on what can be done to move the whole ecosystem forward. As I think through the ways that we've been running these programs for over 3 years, mostly with advanced knowledge founders like yourself, it seems to me that it's really more important to take all the knowledge that everyone has in metaverse, like Jim and his team, or NFTs and metaverse, like, the former car, who we haven't heard from today, but Alex is a very, very experienced executive in the space. All the information that, Lisa has done in sort of demystifying DeFi with like, and then see how all of these different components, the NFTs, the metaverse, the Web3, the DeFi, the DAO, how is that actually integrated in almost any of the ventures that we're accelerating here? And should it be integrated? Should, the Near 8 have some components of DeFi in it or not? Should Formacar maybe already have components of DeFi in it or not? And if so, could we help them from the ecosystem that we have at Infiom, or could we help them with the ecosystem that we have at the BNB chain? So that's kind of the idea behind the Academy. We will send you topics and guest lectures for the next 12 weeks by the end of this week. So you would not have just the calendar invite, but also the agenda for each call and each meeting. And that's sort of the plan. That's the lay of the land. Shinui, do you want to say something else about the ecosystem?
Yeah, I think we're short of running out of time, so I'll keep this short this time, and we will talk a bit more on the next following sessions. So essentially, BNB chains, what we can provide for the projects is that not only from a fundamental infrastructure perspective, but also try to help the projects to grow furthermore in terms of BD's opportunities, as well as some potential marketing collaborations, as at least from BNB Chain's Entrepreneur Club says, we can guarantee that everyone who has enrolled into this round of the BNB Chain / Infiom Founders Academy will have at least one chance to be invited into our Twitter space to talk about your journey to become one of the great or outstanding Web3 entrepreneurs. It's more about sharing the stories of your projects, and also sharing your stories for your life, and how have you be discovering the Web3 industry so far. So that's what we're doing at this moment. And despite that, some of the marketing promotions that is potentially to be collaborated from BNB chain sides, but at the same time, we have a essential criteria where most likely we would help the projects grow into a certain stage where our DAU or TVL reaches a certain amount of milestones, so that it's better for us to convince our inner marketing team as well as the projects team to collaborate in the future from any possible online or offline event collaborations. But to reach to that milestone, there are a lot of efforts that need to be developed. So from marketing's roadmaps, and how do you find better strategies to promote within the Web3 industry, and especially within the BNB chains communities and user groups is quite essential. And so we actually have that information and ready to share with all the projects founders here. And also, to talk about and also to brainstorm what might be the best way moving forward. And what is the next round, or what is the next journey after launching on BNB chain? Like how could we further develop the branding awareness for each different projects, and what's the best, allocations or the positions we see ourselves within the BNB chain ecosystem. So from, a top-down, really a strategic ecosystem support, as well as to, just a simple Twitter space, sharing your wisdom of becoming a Web3 entrepreneurs in BNB chain. So like we wanted to actually experience all the journeys with the entrepreneurs here. So that's what we're essentially providing. Well, at the same time, don't forget we're also a technology blockchain utility or facility. Actually, a facility is better words. So we provide different technical support, and if you need anything that you feel like at this moment BNB chain actually needs to pay some attention, we're also open up for any feedback and see if we can develop something or find some tool or infrastructures to help the projects to deploy better and to expand the market better. So that's what we can do here.
And you've done a lot of work. I can attest to it because I was there alongside you last year to do pitch sessions to VCs in Silicon Valley, for example, pitch sessions to VCs in New York City. Can you just tell us a little bit more about how many projects presented and how many VCs showed up to those? It was quite remarkable.
Thank you for asking that question. So just list one of the examples or one of the events that we actually hosted in the New York City's Innovation Pitch Day last year around December 3rd. We were able to attract around 250 projects to apply for the pitch day. So it's actually offline, which is an on-site physical pitch day where we were, inviting 40 plus VC partners to attend our physical events. I would say like 90% of them actually showed up. But you wouldn't know because we don't want to make them such big stakeholders where the major attention is on them. So we actually embedded their name tag to be builders or to be randomly chosen like entrepreneurs. But there are 30 plus VCs who actually attend in person. 10 plus of them also gets inquires the project list from us. Even though we have 250 projects applied, but we can only offer 32 projects to pitch with us on site. And with that being said, we have to narrow down the pitching in 5 minutes per slot. But from there, I think we were able to identify 5 projects that has been awarded by our sponsors from BNB chain sites, where the top tier of them gets $2,500. The silver one get 1,000, and the bronze will get $500 per each team. So that's how we awarded the projects to present better and be prepared. And from there, I think there are 3 projects who actually are in the grant preparation within our BNB chains process, and one of them actually are in the conversations with finance labs based on what we have attracted so far. But the numbers might be increased after we did our calculations last year. So this is just one of the events. Despite the physical events, BNB chain entrepreneurs were really honored to host this, Founders Academy with Infiom. But despite Infiom as one of our partners, we also have multiple partners around global to host the, virtual demo day. With that being said, we only introduced our own entrepreneur club members to attend that demo day with our partners. To face directly with VCs, only VCs at this moment. There are just, even though it's virtual events, but there are only entrepreneurs and VCs investors. So for that tractions, it's more, a direct fundraising support that we are able to help from BNB chains and also from BNB chain entrepreneur club. And so that's what we're doing. Despite that, we're also developing an annual entrepreneur day. As this moment, we're trying to combine that with our BNB Chains conference day, somewhere around June or July. We're still determining the location, the exact dates and locations, but we're planning to introducing all the great outstanding entrepreneur club members to attend our conference. 1 day of conference is most likely to be in APEC area in Bali. Bali Islands. I don't know whether anyone has been there, but we're still incubating this idea, so please don't spread it out. We're planning to have that day to prepare some sessions for just the entrepreneurs and VCs together to do any physical networkings and physical BD opportunities.
And that's what I really love about this idea of Entrepreneurs Club that Shinui is working on, is that it's really focused on fundraising, and it's focused on, fast adoption into the ecosystem and growth. When I launched the first incubator back at KPMG days, in the corporate environment, everyone said, "Oh, you're not so cool. You're a big four company. And why would you be incubating internet startups, et cetera, et cetera?" And we thought, look at, Bill Gross at that time at Idea Lab. He's a brilliant guy, brilliant entrepreneur. He had brilliant ideas and spinning off these ideas and, getting lots of money from different people to fund them and then bringing management teams into it. But we had 110,000 professionals at that time globally that KPMG did. And many of those professionals decided to help these startups. So having that sort of infrastructure behind you that KPMG, sort of help in tax and audit and consulting, all flavors of consulting that we had at the time, it became so crucial for our startup companies to get into the next level. I feel that what BNB Chain is that it has that KPMG had back then, plus, because they have the technology support. They have this ecosystem of crypto companies that are traveling the globe, and nobody can get to all these conferences no matter how hard you try. They actually have presence in these conferences that have been part of their Telegram groups where they talk about all the different events in Asia and Europe and US. And so you get access to events and knowledge about events. You get access and what's relevant at these events. You get access to their research reports, and they have the marketing support and they have the technology support. So I thought that as far as a partner for an academy that's going to accelerate the ecosystem, that probably in our space, in the Web3 space, BNB Chain was the best possible partner. We will bring other technology partners to the academy, but at the moment, I feel like that we have our hands full and just kind of getting through the options and opportunities that BNB Chain is offering, and that we can kind of provide to these companies. So we have about 3 minutes left here in the Zoom session. Are there any last minute questions or thoughts? I want to thank everyone for being the first ones in and making the cutoff date today, despite a challenging timeline. I commend you for doing that. I'll see you all in Twitter Spaces. I'm going to add a little Twitter Spaces link here. Jeanette's already there. She's one of our moderators that usually moderates the Tuesday session. And we will be discussing both the academy, maybe some additional questions if you have. We'll introduce the project if you can join us in that Twitter session. And we will also discuss the news. And we basically put out a newsletter every Sunday with the current news. And so there is one that talks about what Wired magazine's archives can tell us about Web3. So we're going to be discussing that today as well in the Twitter Spaces. So sending you a link here in the chat session. If you'd like to join us, you can just click on this link. That starts in about 2 minutes. So looking forward to just a quick reminder, there's no Tuesday and there's no Wednesday this week because we have more people onboarding, thankfully. So we look forward to seeing you there. Just come in anytime you can. It's much more informal, the Twitter Spaces, but we will see you Friday at noon. So I will cancel the Tuesday, Wednesday, and move it 1 week later and add the Friday here at noon today. So look forward to seeing everyone in Twitter Spaces. Thank you, Shinui, for organizing and thinking through this idea of the Academy and for supporting everything all the way through and working tirelessly every day and every weekend with me on this. And thank you, everyone, for joining us and for this first session. I really enjoyed all of your backgrounds and everything that you built so far, and I can't wait to see what we can do together.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you bye. Thank you. Bye.